Hello and welcome everyone to episode 124 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer at Shonen Jump, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, letterer of manga like Dragon Ball Super, Kaiju number 8, and many, many more. And I gotta point this out because we reached the halfway point last week, and so now the manga was on break this week, as it does take mini breaks. So like we are 5 chapters closer now. I think about that. We're just closing that gap piece by piece.
It is one of those things where you're thinking about closing the gap, and we are closing the gap, absolutely. But it's also like, oh God, we're still so far away.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we've been doing this for 2.5 years.
2.5 more, here we come.
Yep.
Oh God, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long this one ends up being, because it is, as we said last time, we're in the war. We're right in it, I still enjoy how Oda is finding ways to wring out pathos out of all this, rather than just being straight up fight.
Yeah, that's really important. Like that, and I feel like I'm glad that you pointed that out, because it is really possible. I feel like even for somebody like me, who I love action, I love shonen manga, like just watching like fight after fight gets boring after a while. Like it does, and even if it might be on a more like subconscious level for some people, but like I do think like having that pathos, having sort of like a narrative through line through all of this makes it feel like we're making progress. And I think that's like, we're, like I said at the start of the arc, like we have one goal, is to get to Ace. And so feeling like you're constantly pushing forward while also keeping like that human element and maintaining the characters. It's really important, and I think Oda does a really good job of that.
In many ways, a lot of this is all about the strategies at play.
Yeah.
Just two master strategists going at each other with a few wild cards thrown in. So
for sure.
just
yeah.
all the
that
craziness.
Also makes it really entertaining on like a high concept kind of level.
Oh, for sure. Well, let's get to it. Like that's all I can say right now is just like, let's see what's happening and get to chapter 561, Luffy versus Mihawk. And boy, this is a rematch I never really thought about before. And and of course we are done with our chapter covers. We're back to our animal buddies hanging out, so all good there. And yeah, we just started out, and Luffy's just like, I don't have time to fight someone that strong. I'm here to save Ace. And that's the interesting thing about this is Luffy doesn't want to fight. He cannot be in any one battle for too long.
And it's kind of an extension of what we've been dealing with since Impel Down, where it's just like, no, again, Luffy, he's an ant in a hurricane. He is in way over his head. But I do love how, and really the characterization of Luffy during this whole exchange is really interesting too, because like Mihawk, I love this just right off of the bat. Like he sees Luffy in the middle of the crowd and he snipes him with his sword.
Yeah, and I love how it's pointedly, he's not taking out the guys fighting each other in between them. It's just Luffy.
Yeah, he's able to get Luffy like out in the middle of a crowd, which is just incredible.
Yeah, and fortunately, Luffy being rather fast, or I wonder if Mihawk's not going completely all out yet. I have to wonder, because Luffy is able to dodge out of the way of the sword, and just the way he wields it, where he's like stomping on the sword at the same time as driving it in. That's some crazy posing.
I get the feeling that, Mihawk's doing his best Sephiroth right here.
Yeah, seriously. Here's a crazy series of events, is that 2 of the new Common Land people come in. It's like, we challenged you in the past, but we lost, but we're a lot stronger now. It's like, nah, I never bother to remember the faces of trash, and just cuts him down with no issue.
Yeah. And then I liked this too. Like Luffy tries to go in for his Gum Jet Bazooka, but then like it looks like he just makes eye contact with Mihawk, and he's able to like predict that his arms are going to get cut off. So instead Luffy aims the bazooka into the ground.
Yeah, he's just is able to intuit that, oh gosh, this is not advantageous. Me stretching out parts of my body to fight him is not going to work out. Oh,
Mihawk is dangerous. That's what I'm getting about all this. Like, oh boy.
Just commenting about how much calmer Luffy seems to be in the face of this type of death, this type of battle is interesting in itself. But then we get the best Mihawk 2-page spread yet, where he tries to slice Luffy and Luffy dodges it, but you see behind him just the entire top half of the frozen giant wave cut.
Yeah.
And it's friggin' amazing.
Yeah, and then the poor marine guys like onto those ships are just like, oh, the iceberg's falling. Oh god, they're having to get out of the way of the falling iceberg. Mihawk is scary.
He really is. I'm always impressed. I even commented to you when I was reading. It's like, holy crap!
Yeah, that is a good use of a 2-page spread, and I love the way that it angles up in the direction that you're reading, so it feels like it's kind of getting bigger, like as your eyes go like from right to left across the page. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, very much so. But now we return to Crocodile and Doflamingo talking as he's still controlling Jozu. And apparently Crocodile's like, basically, nah, I'm not, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to.
Yeah, he's like, maybe you want to become my henchman?
I'm not dealing with that. He just uses his saw blade to kick up a sandstorm and toss him away. But then Buggy gets caught up into it.
Yes.
Because of course he is.
I love kind of the cause and effect going on here, because while like this is all happening while Luffy is trying to get away from Mihawk, and he's just like, oh god, and he's getting further and further away from his brother, but then he sees Buggy, who's gotten knocked up in the air by Crocodile's attack, and then Luffy just grabs him out of the air for the Gum human shield jet. Right in the way of Mihawk's blade. So that's how you handle Mihawk.
Yeah, you just put out Buggy, and I loved how like he is so cut up. He is just nothing but spaghetti.
Yes.
And he's like, the use of the special Muggy Ball to take him out, and he just deflects it right back at Buggy, and that face is so perfect.
And then he just, thanks, Buggy, I'll never forget you. He just goes on right past them. It's great. It's thank you for your service, Buggy.
Yes, you did well. Thank you so much. I just noticed about Buggy's hat that it's a Navy hat that he X'd out the Marine symbol. That's a good detail.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
But that's when Luffy's able to get away thanks to Marco asking a guy named Vista to go help. And that's when we get the proper introduction thanks to Mihawk. Vista the Flower Blade, leader of the 5th division of Whitebeard pirates. He's able to actually go toe to toe.
Yeah, which is awesome. And I love that, like, it's very telling for Luffy. He's just like, who is that guy? I gotta thank him. But I love this line from Mihawk, because it really feels like this is sort of the theme going on here, where he says, like, it's not Luffy's powers or his techniques. He possesses some quality that makes people want to help him, and in these waters, that is the most formidable power of all. And that is what we have been seeing here time after time again, ever since he got separated from the Straw Hats, right? Like, it's just, again, pure charisma.
Right? Just max charisma stat. Yeah, he just is able to just, he's so earnest that he just draws people into his posse, I guess.
Yeah, and the fact that, we saw that just, I feel like we're seeing this, because God, Whitebeard had, talking to Marco earlier, was like, don't let that kid die, basically. And so now we're kind of seeing, like, he doesn't even know who Vista is, you're getting help from the leader of the 5th division of the Whitebeard pirates. It's just like, all right, here's this random guy, all right, like, and he, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna roll up and I'm gonna fight Mihawk. Like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm down for this. I'm
he's getting help from a complete stranger.
But as Luffy gets away, the crowd has been watching, of course, and just going like, oh gosh, what's going on? And the Navy's getting ready to kill Ace ahead of time. It's even throwing off the people. And that's when Sengoku's like, nah, cut the broadcast on all the transponder snails. We mustn't lose the world's trust. The shock of what's about to happen might shatter the trust people have in us. There's no need to broadcast this tragedy to the rest of the world.
That's so fascinating. And weirdly, like, dark, actually.
He was willing to show this stuff to the people, but he's not willing to show, I guess, their methods of winning in his mind.
Right, yeah, where he says, the inhabitants of the world only need to know that we were victorious. That is all. Like, that is the... and you're kind of like, what are they planning? And we learn part of it. I feel like this is not the whole thing, but, basically, the pacifistas are here.
Yeah, we find out, actually, is that, oh wow, it is the next page. I was like, oh, I thought that was later, but no, it is just the pacifistas. And I wondered if they'd show up, because I forgot. And seeing them all lined up like that, that's terrifying, especially after what Luffy went through.
Are you guys ready for some war crimes? Because I feel like this is Sengoku being like, we cannot show the people this.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No.
Yeah, and again, that's not the only reason, but as we'll get into later on in the set. But I feel like it is very telling and very fascinating as far as like, there's almost an aspect of like propaganda and controlling the media, right?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely the case, and crazy to think it's already been an hour and a half.
Yeah,
fighting, just holy crap!
And the way that the narration says the final stage draws near, like wow.
Things are about to get real, so we'll have to see how that all goes. But yeah, let's get to it right away with chapter 562, Whirl Spider Squad. I thought that said squad at first when I first read that.
Yeah.
But
Squad is a weird name.
Very weird name. But as far as our title page, nice to see Robin has that charisma to just lead on the ducks.
Yes. It's just so adorable.
It's very cute.
Love that smile.
Mm-hmm. So how many pacifistas we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 12 pacifistas. And I think there's some even behind them in the smoke.
Yeah, someone in the crowd says there must be 20.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That is... No. Vegapunk, what are you?
Yeah, right? Like, how... You know what? Yeah, it's everybody kind of talking about like, okay, Vegapunk's been developing human weapons, and sending his experimental drones into battle, but apparently this wasn't the plan initially.
The full plan was to come out once they trapped all the pirates in the bay, but thanks to Whitebeard, who told him to destroy the warships on the side because he knew it was going to happen, they can't surround him.
Again, this is that high level strategic stuff that's actually like really cool. That adds an element of having Whitebeard and Sengoku try to outsmart each other. Yeah,
in a lot of ways, it's basically Whitebeard versus Sengoku.
Yeah, in a weird way.
The wings might be out of action, but we can still attack from the front and the rear. So proceed as planned and start with the ones that are not in the target area. And it's like, oh, we're going to lose some warships with this. It's like, just keep damage to a minimum. Okay.
All right.
Just blows the hell out of everything.
Oh, boy.
Whitebeard's just like, okay, they're killing friend and foe alike. We can't just hang around here. Ignore it, invade, and finish this. And that's when Sengoku's like, dude, don't let them enter the plaza. This is pure on strategy tactics right now. This is just a tactics game.
Yeah, exactly. Like it is really just sort of high level. Like it's like management of resources. Like, okay, you all need to go here. You guys go this way, and such and such. That's
when 2 of the feeds cut out. One's still around, and they were like, what's going on here? And Sengoku orders, like, after broadcast has been cut, activate the encirclement wall, then we'll execute Ace and capture all the pirates at the same time. So there's the plan right now.
They're trying to capture them. But,
yep.
And it seemingly, like I feel like, I guess we'll get to that in a bit, but, like, sort of the idea of kind of that level of brutality of just, like, we're just going to round them all up and kill them all one by one.
Fish in a barrel.
Yeah, basically.
Luffy is desperately trying to get to Ace still, of course. And that's when Kizaru shows up and just hits him with a light kick. And God, that pain on Luffy's face. I don't think we've ever seen his face that dark when he gets hit by something.
Yeah, no, it's just, it must be, I think it's just all of like the light and shadow. But now that just the way that he's like, all right, time to send you back to the starting line. Just knocks him all the way back into Jinbei.
Thank goodness for Jinbei. He's just like, all right, the admirals are coming out now, so we have to find some way to advance. So we'll figure something out. And that's when we get some of these other pirates. It's like, Lisa's little brother. Are you exhausted already? Got the other division captains coming in to fight and just sort of giving a Luffy heck. It's just like, you can't be tired already.
Like, they're all kind of working together. So it's fun.
And that's when we meet Curiel, leader of the 10th division, coming at Moria. We get all this interesting like showdowns, and we still have, gosh, I'm blanking. There's so many names being tossed around. The guy who saved Luffy last time with the sword taking on Mihawk.
Vista.
Yeah, that's it. And they're like, we should settle this later. It's like, it would benefit us both. So
yeah, the way that, again, this random guy out of nowhere is just going toe to toe with Mihawk. It's just kind of awesome.
And like, all right, we got to get out of here. Is like just a lot of movement in all directions. Like people just scrambling to get two Ace away from the circle, getting the circle up. It's all kinds of stuff going on. And that's when Sengoku finds out that not all the broadcasts have been cut, because one is still on because Buggy has it.
Buggy's on the big screen, and I just love the way that they're like, they're like, he kept his identity a secret, but he was a member of Gold Roger's legendary crew. Aren't you the great pirate Captain Buggy the Cloud? And he just has the thumbs up, tooth missing. He's like, that's right, it's me.
They're like, his men are trying to hype him up. It's like, it's supposed to be a secret that I'm the legendary pirate. Please wipe your face, please. We'll shoot it again. Take two.
This is great. This is very like, hi, Mom, I'm on TV.
It's weirdly adorable, but also just what a mess.
I feel like the implications in this chapter are rather dark, so I appreciate this sequence of brief levity.
It's like, they found us, run for us. Like, you just got cut to pieces by Hawkeye Mihawk, and now you're fine? Who are you? I'm Buggy, the legendary one.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I love that Sengoku's just like, just shut it off. Like, screw it.
Just blow them all up. We're still moving forward, and that's when we go to Whitebeard, and we finally meet this Squard, who Whitebeard is thankful is all right, because he was trying to get a hold of him.
We saw him right when Whitebeard showed up, because I remember him.
Oh, okay. There's so many faces going around. It is so
There are. I don't think he has shown up since then, or at least not, kind of like in panel by name, but like he was there when that initial like group of New World pirates were coming up.
I see. But yeah, he just reports that the pirates in the rear are getting savaged, and they're going to come out at us with everything they've got. That's when Whitebeard's like, I'm going to go out to fight soon. Our only hope is to keep moving forward. And that's when Square is like, yes, we're all indebted to you. I dedicated my life to the Whitebeard pirates long ago. And he just stabs Whitebeard in the chest.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's one of those things that just like completely catches you off guard.
Yeah, because you're like,
no idea this was going to happen.
Yeah, no, this was a good twist. I vaguely remembered this happening. There's a lot of the explanation we're about to get next chapter I'd definitely forgotten about, but that panel of just that giant katana going straight through Whitebeard's chest.
You feel it, just the reaction on Whitebeard's face, where he only reacts with his eyes.
Yeah, it looks like it hurt.
Yeah, and the reaction of everybody else is like, oh no. And the crazy thing is, that's where Oda chose to end a volume.
That's mean.
That's cruel.
Yeah,
it's like, what does that mean? Oh no.
This mutiny. Wouldn't be a pirate crew without mutiny.
So let's get to chapter 563, One Man, One Heart.
This might be my favorite chapter of the set.
I think it might be. I think I agree. We have an entire page of just reactions.
Yeah.
Most of the reactions you'd expect, honestly.
Yeah. And of course, Doflamingo just having that grin.
And Mori is like, ooh, new corpse. That's all he's excited about.
Yeah, he's entertained. But you see, like that actually did some damage. Like you're seeing Whitebeard like cough up blood and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And because of Buggy, the people see it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know if they were supposed to see this.
Yeah,
because based on Sengoku's reaction, is like, oh, crap.
Yeah, that's the tricky part, because this is not part of Sengoku's plan, it seems, but...
True. And the people are just freaking out, like, what? He was one of the pirate captains. Why did he stab him? This is Whirl Spider. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And Marco immediately comes up and pins him to the ground. It's like, why'd you do it? And Score's just like, nah, he had it coming. And it's like, no, tell the truth. You're in cahoots with the Navy. You made a deal to save them to save the Whitebeard pirates and Ace. And everybody's like, what's he going on about? Nah, he led us into a trap. I never knew Ace was the son of Gold Roger. And when you took me under your wing, I was all alone in this world. And you know why. Because I'd fought for so long, his crew had been annihilated by Gold Roger. And you knew I hated him. just the fact that he was like, I trusted you, but you betrayed me because you're trying to make Ace the new king of the pirates. And this is like, how could you do this to me?
Yeah. And he thinks he sold out everybody to save, their lives in exchange for Ace's, the 43 pirate captors under you. So it's like Scored has been basically tricked into thinking that like you made a deal with Sengoku so that so that the Whitebeard pirates and the Ace would be spared, and is just turning everybody else into sacrifices.
It's brutal, but also, man, the sound of quality on this transponder snail is pretty incredible because you see
right,
the angle how far away
coming
it is.
Through. Yeah,
or he's screaming really loud. But the thing is, it's getting that narrative is getting pushed even further because the Navy's only attacking those 43 crews. It's not
right because they're the ones on the outside now.
Yeah, they're just like, wait, is this true? Well, like everybody's sort of thrown off guard by it, and even Squad admits, it's like, I know it was a miracle I was able to stab you even once, but I don't care what you do to me, and now go ahead and kill me. I'm not falling for you. And then that's when we get a flashback to see an idea of like we definitely can see that one of the admirals set this up.
I am 90% sure that's Aka Inu.
Yes. Yeah, I think we do get confirmed later that it's Aka Inu who set this up with him. Just played him. Well, as far as we know, like it could be true. We don't know because Whitebeard's not saying anything.
Yeah, and I think I think that's the interesting thing too, right? Like based on what Squad is saying, like this is all actually fairly logical. Like there's nothing about this that it doesn't.
How else would Whitebeard expect to survive?
Exactly, right? Like when you put all the facts together like that, you could certainly interpret it in a way that makes it look like Whitebeard is just using the rest of the pirate captains to get what he wants. Mm-hmm. So I kind of really like this twist for this reason because we're sort of seeing like forcing Whitebeard to come to terms with a lot of this stuff,
and just seeing how this is all 9 pages so far of build up. And that's when Whitebeard finally starts talking because Marco's like, how could you doubt Pops? And Whitebeard's just like, yes, Ace is Roger's son. He picked on the one that would most bothered by it. Very cagey of him. So he's more musing to himself about how Sengoku set this up. And that's when Aokiji finally cuts the feed by freezing Buggy and the snail.
Oh, the poor snail and Buggy, I suppose. But yeah, that's... I feel like that's also very telling that they cut the feed. It was like they let it play out enough so that like the rest of the world gets to see kind of the defection and kind of the letting them sow doubts. But now that it's Whitebeard's turn to speak, it's like, all right, cut the feed.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of it, and that's when it's also time to activate the encirclement wall, and even Crocodile gets really into this. That's like, I don't think we've seen him yell like this before. It's like, cut the pretense.
No, this is different. Seeing this side of him.
The man who defeated me could never be the weakling I see before me now. It's like,
and
never seen that from Crocodile.
Marco's got a good point where it's like, yeah, he could have dodged that even if he was caught off guard. So he, why did he accept that attack?
He realizes like, oh crap, his health is continuing to deteriorate. Mm-hmm. So. Ugh. And that's when Whitebeard finally addresses Scored directly. It's like, how dare you draw your sword against your father? What a stupid son you are. You may be a fool, but I still love you. And he just hugs him.
This panel, man, I got a little teary-eyed.
I got chills because this is just one of those moments where this is why they see him as a father.
Exactly. It's one thing to say it, but we're seeing it through his actions. And the way that this has all been set up and the way that you would assume that he would be furious, right? Like with the way that he is just kind of depicted, in the way that he's kind of shown to be such a strong fighter. Mm-hmm. And you would think that he would like, and even Scored is like, I'm prepared for the consequences. Like, I know I got a lucky shot basically. And so for Whitebeard's response to be that is, to basically just like, I still think you're my son.
Yeah, it's complete forgiveness. It is not
exactly.
It's not even disappointment. There's no sense of like, I'm disappointed in you. It's just like you're a fool, but I love you. Like there's a little bit of disappointment in those words, but it's not like I'm banishing you. I'm disappointed in you, like, or anything like that. I'm not going to raise my hand, but you're out of the pirate crew. It's like, no, I still love you for being one of my sons. And this, if you're not sold on Whitebeard by this point, there's nothing that can be done for you.
God, man, this is one of my favorite scenes with him. I think like it is the most like poignant way to show his like character. And then this bit here where, he's basically, he tells Scourge that he's like, you're one of my most loyal followers. Like, who lured you into the dark depths of doubt? And then, we see, he's like, oh, it was a rebel from the Navy. He told me that if I stab you, my men would be spared. And then there you go. It's Aka Inu.
Yeah.
He says, I'm against this operation. The only one who deserves to die is Whitebeard. You can't pass up this opportunity, yada, yada, yada. So it's just like, yeah. Uh-huh.
I am sorry. I don't know Aka Inu that well at this point, but I don't trust that in the slightest.
No. It is. I feel like any pirate, especially one from the New World, kind of worth their muster, would know Aka Inu when they saw him. But yeah,
Whitebeard immediately intonates that it is Aka Inu, even though Squard never says his name. Mm-hmm. And that's when we get the sort of the thesis behind Ace for both Garp and Whitebeard. It's wrong to condemn a child for the sins of his father. What did Ace ever do to you? It's like, Ace isn't the only one who's special to me. I love all my children.
God, Whitebeard.
And that's when he's like, you're cunning as ever. You managed to drive a wedge between us, but you think I would ever sell out my sons? And that's when he just starts cracking it, like just destroys the rest of the ice. All the ice is gone now. The waters are churning. And he's Whitebeard basically says, hey, if you are pirates who decide who you believe, our ships can sail clear thanks to this. So you're either with me, kiss your lives goodbye, or you can go.
Yeah, which is awesome, right? Like, it's just, I feel like that is Whitebeard putting out that statement, right? Like, if you want to leave, now is your time. Like, it says a lot that like this is the moment where Whitebeard himself joins the fray. Like, we're charging in, come with us if you want to die.
Yeah. And he even sort of addresses Crocodile in his mind as like, it's like, I see you don't mince words, but you expect too much of me. I'm just one man with one heart. They call me a fiend and a monster, but I can't remain the strongest forever. If I can help one young pirate achieve his destiny, my life will be complete. Isn't that enough?
God.
Just to see him leap into the fray.
Dude, I love Whitebeard, man.
Whitebeard's awesome.
Whitebeard. Yeah, he's just... You really... We had one chapter of maybe like a half chapter of sowing the seeds of doubt. Like, oh man, did he really sell out his crew? Like, of course not. He would never. But now it's just... I feel like we're moving into the kind of the next phase here where it's just like, all right, we're charging in.
Yeah.
God. So
we do have an SBS, mostly jokey ones, because everybody's like, "Oh, what's Whitebeard hiding in his mustache? Does he have a banana in there, a boomerang? Because it's so stiff." And then we get confirmation that he is a Paramythia type.
Yep, makes sense.
I never really had any doubt in this one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Chapter 564: The Man Who Shook the World.
I do wanted to point out real quick at the last SBS, but Oda, the way he writes it out is basically, it's a Paramythia that is as strong as a Logia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Logia do tend to be the most powerful.
Yep.
Whitebeard finally takes the field after getting stabbed in the chest, sort of just walks it off.
He's bleeding out.
Jeez. He missed all of his vital organs.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we got to make a path for Pops. We got to go. We got to make the Navy pay for this whole deception. And Squirt is just left behind, just like, oh no, I'm so sorry, Ace. I'm sorry. What could I have done? And Marco just looks at us like, are you just gonna stay there and cry?
I love that. Like, I guess you could maybe say one way or the other, but like, I feel like because Whitebeard forgave him, I think Marco kind of was just like, all right, like, stop crying and get on with it. you know, like. That's it.
That's all there is to it. Pops forgives you. Fine. I'm down.
Yeah.
I forgive you too.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh.
And that's when Luffy's like, man, that old man is awesome.
Right, yeah.
But we have to get the Ace right now. And that's when Jinbei's like, I have a bad feeling about this. All our enemies are gathered in the plaza. So what's going on? And that's when another giant I think a Vice Admiral giant, John Giant.
It's John Giant.
Goes to strike Whitebeard, and Whitebeard blocks his sword with his halberd and just grabs hold of the air in the same way that Jinbei grabbed a hold of the sea and just uses his tremor powers to just throw John Giant over, like with his foot.
Yeah, and what I love about this is sort of the slow build up to the reveal, because you're just kind of like, oh, he knocked him off balance. And he's like, oh wait, the ground is tilting. Like, what? Okay, so he caused an earthquake, and it looks like a bunch of people are kind of like falling down the plaza, right? And then you turn the page, and then like Whitebeard broke like the entire slab of ice.
It's just like sections and rings of the ocean tilting back and forth amongst each other, sloshing around, and it's throwing ships over, throwing people over.
It's such a cool shot.
Doflamingo's just loving it, of course.
And even the city's starting to fall apart. Like, there's no, we said Whitebeard, like, they called me a monster, but I'm one man with one heart. No, you are a monster, sir.
He is very much a monster. Again, Roger was able to beat this man.
Yes. Yes.
But then he has like a quake punch right into John Giant's chest and just lays him flat. He's just down.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
And he sends out one more quake against the town, ready to just knock down the platform. But it gets deflected at the last moment because of the combined powers of the three admirals.
Yeah, and I love that they're all kind of ribbing each other for it.
Luffy, of course, is trying to stay okay because like a lot of the footing they had with the ice is going away.
Yes.
And Luffy's just like, man, he's just hitting everybody around. It's like, no, his crew knows how he fights. That's why they took cover. So, like, they know how to fight around Whitebeard. But Luffy's getting ready. He's like, all right, top's clear. I can climb up. Let's go. And that's when the walls come up. Throw them off.
Yeah, we've been hearing about this for the past couple chapters, but now that they're actually putting up a giant wall to trap the pirates.
They are completely surrounded, and it will not budge. The steel is extremely thick. They have cannons pointed out at him. It's like, okay, just time to pick them off at this point. And that's the problem. They can't raise the final section of the wall because Oars' body's in there. He's weighing it down, and his blood has knocked out the power.
What incredible!
Yeah, Oars has somehow managed to pave a way. Exactly. I love that Oars managed to accomplish something.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And Whitebeard's like, okay, it's our chance. And Sengoku's like, nope, start the attack, Aki-Inu. And that's when we get Meteor Volcanoes. Like, melt the ice and take away their footing. And just giant volcano fists raining from the sky.
What a final shot. And every time Aki-Inu uses his power, it really does feel apocalyptic.
At this point, Aokiji, I think, is probably the weakest of the admirals based on his powers and how they compare to the other two. I can't tell you who's stronger between Kizaru and Aki-Inu. True.
Yeah, I feel like Aki-Inu's got the raw destructive power. Like he's got like the broad kind of power, whereas Kizaru's more. I feel like he's more fit for 1v1.
That is true. But we do have another SBS, and we talk about why Oda has never so. Robin can put her face other places, right? In order to, it's because of her flower fruit. And it's like, yeah, but every time I tried to do it, it came out really creepy, so I just don't do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That makes sense. All right. Our last chapter for the set. And
man, we're zooming through these.
It's weird that we've gotten through this so quickly. I'm not used to this.
I feel like it really is just kind of more fighting. The character stuff in here is really good. The section with Whitebeard and Scored I thought was by far the highlight of this set. But oh man,
just total agreement. Although I gotta say, for this next chapter, chapter 565, Oar's Path, that's a cool ass zebra.
Yeah, it is. God, the zebra's got drip.
Yeah, he does.
He's painting Brook. Oh, that's great. Wait, so are his stripes painted on?
That's a good question. I don't know because everything else is painted on, so I don't know how this works.
How did he paint the clouds? This is God.
And the funny thing is we go back. We start the chapter with Saboti rather than everything going on because it's time to get an update on how everyone's doing. The people, of course, upset that the video feed's cut. And like, we want to see what's going on out there. Did Whitebeard really make a secret deal? Did he really sell out his men? It's like, nope, it'll be unlikely that the video feed restored. So people are kind of upset about this. And that's when we start seeing our other supernovas. They all survived.
Yeah. And they're all, well, I guess, I think they're all still in Saboti, I guess, which I guess makes, it's yes. It's been like a day or two basically since it's been 4 or 5 since then because of the time it took to get from to Impel Down.
Probably a little less than a week total.
Maybe? Yeah, a little less than a week, I think. So, the fact that they're all still chilling around, I think, is really interesting.
I'm going to be blanking on names because it's been a while. I can't even remember. Kid. Kid's just like, show's over.
We got Kid here. Yeah.
And then there's Apu, who's just like, it's like the snails aren't on the fritz. They specifically cut it. They don't want everybody to see what's going on. And I forget his name, but the one that was formerly of the Navy, just darkened face, like
Drake.
Drake, that's right, Drake.
Yeah, and because he's ex-Navy, he knows the deal. He doesn't need to say anything.
He seems haunted by it.
Yeah,
and of course, got our guidefather is like, Whitebeard wouldn't sell out his people. His loyalty to his men is legendary, and just
I love that the mob boss is like, nah.
And they're all just sort of heading out. And interesting here, we don't know. Well, the context. I have no idea the context where Jewelry Bonnie is actually just crying like crazy.
Yeah, she's just, shut up, leave me alone. I popped a little bit when I saw this panel. This will not get explained for years.
I mean, the thing is, when it gets explained, will I even know that it ties back to this? That's the thing I'm afraid of now.
Am I gonna remember that this was here in Marineford? Probably not. So I'll point it out here. Just for anybody who's been listening, and you're going to be listening to 2 or 3 years in the future. Yes, I noticed this. I said it. It's here. In real life terms, this did not get explained in the manga until a year or 2 ago. It was pretty recent.
Wow.
There's no indication whatsoever about it. So the fact that it's here is like, okay, Oda knew what he was doing with this character all the way back here in chapter 565.
And we don't even see Law's face. We just see Law's outline. He's just saying, all right, get the ship ready, Beppo.
Yep, and, they're heading out, I guess. Show's over.
And we go back to Aki Inu, and we see his face melting because he's using his power.
That's so... Wow, man.
Sending out the fist and just pummels everything. Sending it all into the ocean. And the poor Moby Dick.
Yeah. You're kind of... You're seeing that, like, I feel like the implication here, like somebody, saying like, it's a ship that carried us for decades, and just, it feels very similar to like Luffy saying goodbye to the Mary. And so just like, it's just this quick little interaction where, he's like, feeling kind of sad and somber for the ship. I feel like it says a lot.
The thing is, it's really not looking good for the Whitebeard pirates in the grand scheme of things. They're trying to reach the Ace, but they don't have an escape route.
Yeah, they don't have an escape route. They're trapped, basically. Yeah, minus the bit of the wall that's got oars on it. They're basically, just kind of going sit to die.
There is very little hope here.
Yeah,
and I again forget a lot of the minor things, but to how it all goes in the grand scheme of things. But pirates, the Navy was ready to the point where these walls can withstand Whitebeard's quakes.
Yeah, I don't think they're sea prism stone. I guess they might be. There's no explanation for what these are. I don't know if there's an explanation, but they're hard enough that they can survive a hit from Whitebeard's earthquake powers.
And that's frightening in and of itself.
Yes.
But yeah, the cannons start firing, and it's like Sengoku's like, all right, now it's time to execute Ace. And the warlords are just standing by as it's all getting ready to happen, and they're all the pirates are just trying to make it. It's like, we can't let them do this when we're so close. So we gotta just go over oars, but watch out because the Navy's definitely gonna be waiting for us there. And that's when
it's like, where's Luffy?
He's like, oh, there he is, trying to go through that obvious hole in the wall. It's like, and bam, he gets shot out of it.
Yeah, of course. Obviously a trap. I told you so.
He's like, I gotta do something. They're gonna execute Ace. It's like, all right, that gap is the only opening in the wall of steel. We have to use it to our advantage somehow, but only a few of us can pass through that narrow opening at a time. So each group that goes through will have to face the full force of the Navy. And that's when Luffy comes up with an idea. I need a favor.
He says, I need a favor. And that's where we end that scene.
And that's when Little Oars Jr. actually gets to his, we're going to go with knees because he's missing a foot.
Yeah.
Sits up, still alive. And you don't fully know what he's doing here. He's just sort of propping himself up. To be honest, what I thought happened when he said, I need a favor, is he asked Iva to give an energy boost.
I wonder, that is an interesting idea. I wonder how that
I don't know if there's enough in Iva to give Oars an energy boost.
Like, and he'd still be missing a foot either way.
Right. But they're basically like just trying to finish off Oars, and he's not even talking. He's just in so much pain. And Kizaru's getting ready. He's like, we just need to shoot him in the head.
Man, it's just straight for the kill.
Yep. And all of a sudden, this weird sploosh of water comes out holding something and lands on the other side of the gates. And standing in the middle of it is Luffy, holding a mast, very much like when he was dealing with he stuck the thing in Laboon's head.
And so, not only that, he landed right in front of the admirals.
Yep. And
that shot of him just, oh man, God, there's so many good spreads.
Yeah. Just it's terrifying to have Luffy in front of these three, and just Kizaru's like, he's pretty scary for a kid.
Yeah.
And that's that I almost thought that was going to be the end of it. That honestly seems like it'd be an amazing ending, but we get one more pages where he just tries to use the mask to he goes for Aokiji first, and Aokiji freezes it, and that's what Luffy wanted. He goes with his gum stamp Gatling, sending it all into them. And Whitebeard just sees this. It's like, he's as foolhardy as his brother. It's like, Oars, we stay there. We need your help. Jozu, time for our trump card. We're going to storm the plaza. So Whitebeard still has something up his sleeve, and Luffy apparently has something up his sleeve. We don't know what either of those are.
Oh boy, what a way to end the set. It really feels like we are like Ace is literally right over there. We are so close.
But there are 3 admirals in the way, and the warlords.
Yeah. God.
I mean, there's not been a definitive win. Like in all the battles, all these one-on-one battles we've seen, there's just not been a definitive win. It's just moving the chess pieces and a lot of the minor players getting taken out.
Yeah, but seeing Luffy go, like, seemingly try to attack the admirals is definitely not where I thought this was going.
No. I am dumbstruck, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's... Man, oh. This arc is so good, man.
Oh, I know. I wish I could just keep going, but that's just not in the cards. We got to wait till next time and see how this war progresses, because, again, right now, the Whitebeard Pirates are absolutely the underdogs.
Yeah, we're not. We don't have much ground left to fight on at this point.
No, they're getting encircled, and Whitebeard has already taken a pretty serious injury, and he wasn't really in the best of shape to begin with.
He was already old before this started.
I am so excited to see what comes next.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, with that, I believe we've said all we've wanted to say about chapters 561 to 565 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or at BitNerd with an underscore at the end on Twitter. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I'm at Brandon Bovia on Twitter, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job, and I just... I'm so giddy. I can't wait to come back next week and talk about more One Piece.
Oh, I can't wait either. So, yeah, if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derek Bittner. That's DERRICKBITNER to listen to the next episode ad-free 3 days early. And to make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 566 to 570 of One Piece. So until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
I don't know if you realize the magnitude of what you've just done, Squard. You thrust a sword into your father's body trying to kill him. You've lost your way, my poor, stupid son! But I still love you, even if you are a damn fool.